All right, welcome to Dead After Dark. I'm your host, Thorn Inside, or Thorn of Spite, whichever one you folks tend to call me. And I'm here again with Irate Prostate, and we're going to see if we can actually get past the technical difficulties and get this shit to work.
Good evening, people. Hope all is well in your neck of the woods.
All right, who do we have in the chat today? We had to start the movie over simply because that's how I figured out how to get OBS to work and have it run a little smoother. So everything should be very smooth, but we have to watch the first 15 minutes again. I do apologize. Hello, Catkin Siren. I think Tennessee Marine and Casey Dennison were also in the chat a moment ago. I hope you're still there.
Yeah, Tennessee said he would be here.
Yeah, no, he was here earlier. About 20 minutes ago, so he is here. But we're watching this movie again. I ended up watching the entire thing all the way through. It's a great movie. I love it. I think in the modern age they just don't focus on good storytelling anymore. You know? I don't need the bells and whistles.
Who does?
Everything is CGI.
Indeed.
Yes, I try my best not to lie to my friends too, Tennessee Marine.
I can't find the stream.
No? Ah, let me link it to you. I apologize. Let's fix that. Catkin, did you come here from Twitter? Did I somehow mess this up?
Let me check it out.
I just DM'd you. Excuse my voice, I'm a little rough. Hello, Ghost Dog.
All right. So...
Catkin doesn't have a Twitter. Everything is CGI and all the boobs are fake. Make films great again. Possibly make films silent again. There's a challenge for the actors.
Indeed. Acting with nothing but facial expression and eyes.
Maybe the help of... I would love for them to use the practical effects that exist in the modern age with, like, the acting ability that was around during this time period.
Yeah, he talks about Alan, his best friend. The old man was complaining about the spirits had driven him from his house. And... his friend kind of looks like what is that guy's name?
Who, this gentleman here? I'm not sure. He
he
looks like someone, and I can't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
Most actors couldn't do silent films nowadays. No, I don't think they have the. Some of them could. I think some actors portray emotion very well, and others are there because they had the right connections.
Yeah, he looks like Crispin Glover. That's who I was trying to think of.
Yes, that was bothering me.
Yeah.
Practical effects are trying to make a comeback. They are, and I hope they do.
Yeah. Well, they're having all those things on Sci-Fi Channel about, those makeup contests and stuff. It's really neat to see. I'm a big makeup freak, so I love this stuff.
Oh my goodness, Face Off? Great show.
Indeed. That's the one.
It's one of my favorite things to watch on Netflix when it was on there. I have no idea what happened to Crispin Glover, Casey Dennison.
Glover's still alive. As a matter of fact, he is on the show American Gods. That's on, I want to say, Cinemax. or Stars. It's Stars. My mistake. It's on
It is
Stars.
Stars. The existence of that
Yes.
show had me
It's,
read the book. Oh my
oh
goodness,
my
what a great
God.
book.
It's an excellent TV series. Oh my God, it is so good. They're really doing it justice. Brian Fuller, and I just heard that he's walked out on it. And so Dr. Caligari is trying to apply for his license so he can do his show. And
Bureaucracy's going to get in the way.
don't go into the town clerk is in a bad mood today. Don't go in. Oh, he's a moody fucker, huh? Yeah. Here's my card. Yes, thank you.
Catkin
Dr.
Siren.
Caligari.
Catkin Siren. I miss practical effects in science fiction. I think they can
Yeah.
like one of my favorite series is actually Farscape, simply because they
Oh, yeah.
used all the set design and the puppets, and I thought it
Very
looked
nice.
brilliant.
Yep. I love that puppet work. That's really good stuff. And I even like stuff like the Thunderbirds. The British marionette
I haven't
series.
seen that.
It was the Thunderbirds or something else, and I can't remember. The Thunderbirds Go is really the best thing that they put out. But then again, I remember the TV series UFO and Moon. What was it? Space 1999 or Moon Base Alpha. It's the same series, given different names.
And the good thing about a lot of those shows is since they didn't use CGI and the technology for the things didn't like advance forward, they actually still hold up.
Yeah, actually, and the miniature work, yeah, the model builders are some great guys. And I can't remember the British model builder's name, but he made everything he did look so good, and it still looks good today. As a matter of fact, people make replicas of his stuff. I mean, they spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to make the stuff look exactly like his work. There's a Japanese guy named Kao Yokoyama that I'm into, and I have a lot of three-dimensional work that is modeled after his stuff. But he did his series in a magazine using still photography.
That's amazing. Yeah, the stop animation or just
No,
still.
it was just like, yeah, it was a magazine, and the story, was written out, and then the photographs were of the miniature work that he did. So, the way he scaled it up, like the Godzilla movies, but they looked better. But
Oh,
his work looked a lot better than that.
that's
Killer stuff. Kao-san, my
yes.
sensei.
CGI is is iffy depending on the generation, especially older
Oh, for
CGI,
Christ.
or when you get
Oh my God.
or when they get a CGI studio that is rather low rent and you can tell.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, when they're faking blood effects and stuff like that, which is totally unnecessary. Um, the CGI just looks horrible. It looks fake.
Fake
I'd
blood
rather
is
see,
so easy to pull off. There's no reason.
yeah, yeah. The secret to making really good-looking blood is to put a little blue in it, just a little bit, and that to me, that's my secret. Whenever I make my own blood.
Ah, I have a friend that's done a little bit of horror photography, and he said the trick is to use blood.
Or blood, like
Blood.
like pig
Pig's
blood.
blood.
Yeah,
He mixes
yeah.
pig's blood in with his. Did I do Social Santa yet? I don't know what that is.
Social what?
Social Santa, I don't know either.
I'll look it up.
CGI put me off zombie films for a bit. There's this zombie tiger, and it was so bad it hurt. I think zombie films put me off zombie films for a bit.
Yeah, the best thing I've seen in a long time is Dead Snow, the Danish Comedy. That's some good stuff, man.
Oh God, I love me some black comedy.
I love it too. It's really good stuff.
I mean, as
It's
much
nothing
as
like a bunch of zombie Nazis. You know,
oh,
lighten your day, lighten your
zombie
load a little bit.
zombie Drauga Nazis.
Yeah,
This but as much as I love horror, I would have to say that my favorite genre is probably black comedy.
yeah, and it's comedy's so hard to pull off, and it takes a true artist to do it and do it correctly.
Uh,
It's good stuff though. When it's done well, it can transcend.
Best example of practical effects in recent years is either the Evil Dead TV series or The Walking Dead. I would say The Walking Dead nailed it with the makeup.
Nicotaro's a wizard. He's brilliant, and his studio cranks. He tries to go. I mean, he sets himself up, for challenges every year. He wants to do something, next level.
Hmm. That the little bit of vampire Tarantino bullshit that was done for Netflix is a good example of how not to do CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Or don't get lazy people to do your CGI. That could have been better.
Yeah, and just a little bit more attention. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It can make or break a movie, especially if it's got a mediocre script. You know,
Mm.
it's shit. You see, shitty effects can pull you out of the magic. Um, you know, and it does me every time because I'm too busy like going, God damn it, why did they do that? Instead of just enjoying the movie. I'm picking apart um, the effects and how the problems with that kind of stuff, the lighting and shit. That's what I love about this movie, though. This has been done so well, and we're getting close to the part where we left off last week, and we have not had a hitch yet. So whatever you did, bravo, sister, you got this thing going.
Yes, according
So
to
we're looking at
OBS, no dropped frames, 38 frames per second.
oh
What I
wow,
did, I don't know, but it's working.
fantastisch. Yeah, I just watched a really good series on Netflix the past couple of days. A German series called Dark, and it's about three generations. And there's a twist. This thing is everything Lost wanted to be.
That's
And if
saying a
you're
lot.
yeah, exactly, if you're a fan of Lost, you'll know what I'm saying, man. This will blow your mind. It's really good.
I am not, simply because I watched it and halfway through, binge watching it, I'm like, I still don't know what the fuck is going on, and I'm halfway through the fucking
Well,
series.
well, you've got when you like give the when you give your the spectator when you give the spectator so many questions, you have to answer some, right? You
Yes.
have to answer some of those questions as the series progresses, and and Lost broke that cardinal sin of not answering hardly any.
No.
And then at the end, oh, it's all a dream. Oh fuck, we're in the fucking Wizard of Oz.
Now,
You
if
know,
if they had done
um,
it in such a way that they would drop clues in so you could answer the questions
yeah,
themselves, that would have been better. But no, it was just us watching these people in their lives with no fucking context whatsoever. No
yeah, but
context.
that German series, man, it answers right in the last episode. It answers like four major questions, and then boom, it fucks with your brain. It says, and I'm already ready to see the next season.
I think Catkin
So
Siren likes it.
yeah,
And when I was watching through this movie, I now know what I'm going to be for next Halloween. I'm going to be Caesar.
yeah, it's a great look, isn't it?
No one's
It's
gonna
kind of
know
got.
what I am, but I don't care.
It's like it's kind of like a mime. Um, with with the body stocking and
Hmm.
the
He
every
is.
time every time I see that Kink song Sleepwalker it's such a creepy song, and it fits this scene so perfectly.
I go
The
dressed as Elsa did
religious.
not bother me, but I think I've seen too many men dressed as women. I'm just desensitized at this point.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of a. Uh,
I don't
kind of a.
understand the hype of. I don't understand when people get hyped about things. I generally will watch it and be disappointed.
Well, and that's the problem with relying on gimmickry. Um, you know, so much, especially like on YouTube and stuff like that. Um, if I relied on my gimmickry, it's only going to go so far. So I've got to step out. That's why I like doing the cream stream and stuff like that, because I do best. My best work is under live situations and being able to adapt and to, um, you know, and just be me. I mean, shit, that's what people want. They don't want fake shit. They want, me. They want my personality. They want you. They want your personality. You know, nobody likes a. I don't like fake people. I can't stand them. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Twin Peaks new season was not a letdown for me, Casey. I disagree. That blew my brains out. Especially the four black and white episodes. That I think what Lynch was doing in that series is he's trying to tie all of his movies in together. Because he was going to do after Mulholland Drive, he was supposed to do another series, and based on the characters or some of the characters in Mulholland Drive, but it wasn't. It fell through, and so that's what you noticed. It had the show had Naomi Watts, played opposite Dale Cooper, who was in I can't remember the guy's body, but um, so I challenge you to watch it again, um, Casey, and maybe we can do. I've been trying to find somebody to do that with, is to go through this 18 episodes of Twin Peaks this past season, because Ed, Ed, I'm going to say Edendro, I believe is his name. He was wanting to do
Edinburgh.
that. Edendro. And he said that he wanted to do that, and then the flood happened, and he lost all his stuff, and so it just never happened. I would love to do that. So I'm a big fan of Blue Velvet. Um, and of course, Eraserhead was what kicked it off for me. And those black and white episodes, they tie right into Eraserhead, I believe, directly. And I think I can watch Eraserhead a couple more times. I think I can figure out how they're all connected. I
Just
love that
just
movie.
don't lose your mind in the process. There's certain movies that I watch where I'm just like, this person was definitely on drugs when they wrote it.
Oh, first time I saw Eraserhead, I was doing acid. I was on LSD.
Sounds like a
I was about
terrible
as
idea.
No, it wasn't. It was a great. See, I love that kind of stuff. I want my mind played with. Play with it like it's silly putty. Just pull it in every direction you want to. Sir Adamantine has joined us. Greetings, sir, and all the newcomers. We got 11
It's
folks.
nice to
Holy shit!
find. I'm not sure if you've been in my chat before, Sir Edmanting, but it's nice to see you.
It is.
I like this coloring on this scene as well. I don't know why I like this scene so much.
This is excellent. And the odd
You
angles.
have. It's been a bit of a hellish month for me. Do apologize. I love the coloring in all the scenes. You know, they remind me a lot of a charcoal drawing.
Right. Yeah, with the heavy contrast. And, that's kind of what we were talking about during the second half of Gwynplaine was the use of composition and contrast, the darks and the lights together. And this is the famous bros before hoes comment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll leave it up to her, but whatever happens, we shall remain friends. That's right, bros before hoes. The bro code existed even back then.
1919 bro code.
Exactly. Well, my wife and I were watching something the other day. And it was like there was a bro code in back in medieval times.
Bit.
Uh, it's kind of fun to. And then remember the Cesare told him he would live until dawn.
Yes.
And the rising sun, cast that shadow against the wall. And then in the shadow.
And I was mentioning that this reminded me of Psycho.
Yeah. Very,
yes.
That. Go ahead.
No, it is Casey Dennison was saying something. It is amazing how well they came across with no dialogue, and Conrad Veidt was very good at that as well.
Yeah, he was a brilliant actor, using his face and his eyes, just so animated. And like I was fixing to say, for his name slipped my mind, was Hitchcock is definitely influenced by a lot of this early German stuff. You can tell with all his compositional stuff. He would often draw frame by frame exactly what he wanted. He would do his own storyboards, especially for the shower scene, like in Psycho, the monkey bar scene in Birds, where you look back, you see one, and then you look back, you see three or four, and then you see the kids playing, and then you look back, and it's just full of those crows, man. And it's like, holy fuck! I remember the first time I saw that. It scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. I screamed. God, I screamed like I was a kid. So,
it would be much, much more. Yes, much more frightening to children, but it's a very unsettling movie for just because of the atmosphere.
I loved
Jacob
it. I loved
Navel.
being terrified as a kid. My dad and I would go to the drive-in either Friday or Saturday on it every weekend. And go to horror films. That's all we would, pretty much sci-fi and horror. That's all we would watch.
Jacob Navel is asking if this is a vampire film. This is not a vampire film. It is horror, though.
No. Yeah, it's technically the first original horror film because it was written for the screen. It was not an adaptation from Frankenstein's adapted from Mary Shelley's book, and Dracula was, Bram
Stoker.
Right, exactly. And so this was the first movie horror film that was written to be, made as a film.
I love Rear Window.
Yes.
That's my favorite Hitchcock movie.
It's a true classic.
It's based on a short story, Rear Window.
Was that a Robert Bloch story?
It might have been.
Because I know that Psycho was, and I know that Hitchcock really loved Bloch's work.
That would make sense then. Jimmy Stewart was amazing in Rear Window.
Oh yeah. This broken leg. Wheel me over here. He's a great actor. The whole and who acted without any words at all in that movie was Raymond Burr. The baddie, the bad guy.
The neighbor.
You know, all we saw was him, his movements, and his facial expressions. So a lot, I guess we could say that that was probably harkening back to this era.
Hmm.
Now that I think about it, I don't even think he really said any words except for that phone call, and yeah, I think it was his voice, but that was the only time, and he only said like two or three words.
Yeah, and Casey did mention it. I actually liked the remake with Shia LaBeouf.
I did too. I thought it held its own ground very well. Um,
Oh,
you know,
well, pass on to Ren that I said hi back. But yes, I think Shia LaBeouf is a very, very good actor. And I encourage
mhm.
everyone to watch his stuff if you can separate the person and the craft, because he's not a nice person.
You have to do that a lot nowadays with actors, but yeah, he's very talented, and he's gone full method now, of course.
Oh God.
So yeah, well, he was great. He was great in Fury. I love that part in Fury. I couldn't sit through Nymphomaniac though.
Ooh, and
Uh,
Holes.
um,
I
that
liked
was
Holes.
good. That was good. Yeah, sure. Yeah, all the stuff he did when he was younger is outstanding. It's just these guys try so hard to be artists, and be taken serious as artists. When sometimes it's just best to be, to do fucking, science fiction or horror. And I'm so grateful that they finally opened up people's minds to look at horror and science fiction as valid media for art,
Mm.
to be considered as art.
Yeah,
Because
I do remember that. Wasn't science fiction considered pulp?
yeah, no, none of it was serious. It was all it was either considered like funny books, like my wife's grandmother would call them, or it was just they just didn't take it seriously. Until 2001 was the first major science fiction work that had to. Kubrick forced their hand on that um, with that film. And that's something I would see, man. That's what sucks so hard about this YouTube thing, is there's so much music, and there's stuff that we just can't talk about. We can talk about it, but everybody's going okay. But it's so easier to illustrate. It's easier to talk about this movie that we're watching here while we're watching it. If we were forced to sit down and to describe it to people, they'd be like, "I'm turning the channel, man."
Mm. The rule is show, don't tell.
Indeed,
They
indeed.
just forgotten that. It's like, yes, we know you have your shiny fancy CGI, but the script sucks, so I don't care. But I will say, someone in the chat was mentioning that Shia is great when he has a good script. Shia LaBeouf could be the best actor in the world. If the script sucks, the movie's going to suck.
I'll disagree with that, because I've seen mediocre scripts, and good actors pull it off to make it at least a decent film. Um, uh, I'm trying to pull one out of my head right now.
I'm talking like a completely garbage script.
Well, if you're talking like B movie garbage script, then yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I have seen some really mediocre scripts that were saved by good acting. As long as the director gives the actor, little room to play. Some of those guys are slave masters, and so this is the first scene where we actually see what happens with Cesar and Caligari when they're all alone. They're not on the stage, and it looks like Cesar is still asleep, still in his eternal state of sleep, slumber, but he's feeding him.
Casey Dennison is asking, do you think the reason we don't have any good, and I mean really good, sci-fi and horror these days is the shit show studio system? I think the main problem is most of the studios are now just wanting to rehash old franchises. That's the big game right now. That's all anyone is doing.
Mm.
And they've killed Star Trek.
Yeah.
Caesar is a sleepwalker.
Yeah.
He's not particularly a monster.
Right, and what I think is I think he's just been hypnotized. I think that's why he's asleep, is that Caligari had hypnotized him when he was a child, and all these deaths that we're seeing are being done at his bidding. I think that he, we don't know this. This is I'm just taking a shot here that's what's going on. He's ordering Caesar to go kill these people. I love that hat. The rounded one.
The hat is great.
It's kind of goofy looking. Kind of cool.
Everything in here is a little bit like strange looking, and I like it. It does.
Yeah, exactly. This has got like a kind of a dreamlike kind of state to it,
Yeah, that's the cubism is kind of lending to that. The
yeah, of course. Yeah.
The slanted lines.
And I think that the costume is doing that too, to some degree. It's like a weird outfits that these people wear, just to kind of add to the oddness, into the kind of put you off your foot. Kind of make you feel kind of unbalanced, and that's deliberate. He is creepy looking. He needs a shave.
Yes, he does. I've literally seen studios pass on Prime scripts because they want these movie universes and big tent franchises. Yeah, I'm tired of it.
They're chicken shits. They don't want to take a chance. They don't want to take a chance on good art. And that's why Netflix and the TV, they said that the TV production studios are at 98% capacity right now.
Ugh.
And they've never been that way. It's because of all the risk taking that's going on, man. There's great stuff out there, man. The Exorcist. Is anybody in our chat watching the current Exorcist series on Fox? Started last year. Give that time to catch up and see what they have to say. I think it's just amazing.
I have no idea where Thrax is. It's weird not seeing him in the chat. Casey's seen it. Jacob's seen it.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
I guess I'll need to go watch it.
Oh my God! See last year's first, and then it'll get, because there's two different stories going on. It's about the corruption in the Catholic Church, the evil that's corrupted the church itself, and then there's these two exorcists that are actually it's one that's been you'll see in the first season he gets excommunicated. It's a great series, though. It's the best thing on broadcast TV. I can safely say that, in my opinion.
Yes, Netflix is killing it right now.
Yeah.
I think enough to where some of the studios are getting worried. But they don't get it. I'm also hoping that some of the more original things, like, not only just get picked up by Netflix, but get crowdfunded, and people actually show these studios what they want to see.
Well, that's what Sundance is for. People can get movies made. It's the distribution that's the problem. And these big studios, they won't distribute something they don't think can sell. That movie Spinal Tap. Rob Reiner had that movie in the can for 2 years and shopped it around, and nobody, no studio would back it. So he finally got private backers to back it, and he did all of the promotional stuff, and basically, sent out all the cans, and produced it, paid for it himself, and it goes to 11. It's part of the vernacular today. Everybody knows what I'm referring to when I say that.
Yep. Everyone knows what that means, even if you've never seen it.
And that's it's proof that Hollywood, that the the people in the big chairs, they don't know shit from Shinola.
It's true.
Gaming and yelling. Okay, I'm going to tell you to see a movie. This is a French film called Raw, RAW. All right, and watch that movie. It's a nifty little take on cannibalism. And if you don't like that movie, then you're watching. You don't need to be a horror fan.
I did see that. It was great.
Oh my God, it's such a good movie. And the director's a woman, and it's her very first film. And
Mm-hmm.
When my wife and I saw this, we went, holy shit! I had to watch it 3 times. That's how intense it is, and the music is used perfectly with it. Um, that's one thing that we're missing
No,
here.
no, Jacob. I'm sorry to say, Spinal Tap is not a real band.
Well, they kind of did a half a tour. They played like 6 gigs. Like,
That doesn't
no,
count.
they were made up, but they put out an album. But they were comics. They were two of the guys, Christopher Guest. They had gone through this thing called the National Lampoon Radio Group. And half the people that ended up on Saturday Night Live they go through National Lampoon or Second City in Chicago, and then I think Harry Shearer was from the Chicago group, from Second City, and I don't know about the drummer, the blonde-headed guy, um, the one that's on all this green stuff. Yep, but it's a great movie. Raw, yes, gaming, yelling, raw. Is it
Kakin Siren, you're not silly. I do that too. When I hear something's really really good, sometimes I won't watch it right away. I'll sit on it for a rainy day.
Indeed, indeed, and this thing will sneak up on your ass.
I have not seen Night Watch. No.
Oh, the Russian movie, Night Watch. Yeah, I've seen Night and Day Watch. I've seen both of the films, man. It's awesome. I own them, as a matter of fact. Um, Good stuff. That's a nifty vampire tale. I think you'd like that. Um,
I still need to see the Spanish version. Oh God, what is it? It's a zombie one again. Is it a zombie or is it a demon one? Where they're locked in the apartment block and people are getting
Record, Wreck,
infected. Wreck.
or yeah,
I,
that's a
s-
Colombian film.
I
Yep.
still haven't seen it. I
Oh my
want to.
God, you haven't seen it?
No, I sat on it and forgot about it. That's what happens when you do that.
I've seen the original, the second, third, and fourth, and I love them all. It gets really cheesy after the third movie. It gets really funny because it takes place at a wedding. It's funny as shit, man. So you can imagine a zombie movie and a wedding movie put together. Um,
Lovely.
yeah, and it is intended to be comical, I believe.
So we've gone
Um,
black comedy with that one again.
yeah, it goes there with the third film. But the first two are just intense, man. It's just intensity. It's really good. And more French stuff I'll recommend is Inside. I don't know how to pronounce the French name for it, um, but it's you'll see it. Um,
Oh,
and Martyrs.
Look at how creepy Vite is in this scene.
And it's the way he walks, like a cat. Without a sound.
Well, also because I've muted it, but...
Tiny cat feet.
Low...
Right, Casey.
A low-budget movie on Netflix about a demon and some guy that he trapped. Had a 2-letter name. No clue.
I don't know. I'm looking at the live chat on the it says Casey Dennison, The Void. I'm writing it down, all right, and I'll watch it on your recommendation. Okay, and if I don't like it, you'll have to answer. Okay, just remember that.
He is a creepy-looking motherfucker. Like I said, Vite got the facial expressions down pat.
He's awesome.
He died pretty young too.
Yeah, in his 50s.
He was 50.
But you know, he is he's the cop. He plays the cop in Casablanca.
Mm-hmm.
So he did, you know, make it in the United States, and probably one of the biggest films of its time. You know, didn't win an Oscar. I don't know anything about that movie. I've seen it twice.
You know what's interesting? You know how much he made for Casablanca during the filming?
No.
$3,000 a week.
What?
That's it.
How much?
$3,000 a week.
That was probably really, really good back then.
For this movie, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, he made $25 a day.
That sounds about right.
Even back then, that's not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, back then, it was, you know, a phone call cost a nickel, and it's, what, $1.50 now? I kind of try to relate things like that. A pack of cigarettes was 15 cents. You know, now they're, what, like $5, $5 or $6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow, that looks so cool, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. I love the scenes.
That is beautiful. Oh, I'm gonna go. Goodbye. Sorry about the date. So it looks like he might have awakened during that.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe he can break the bonds of the doctor. Oh, now he's. And there are a lot of people that say that Karloff studied this, like the way that he's doing his canter and the arms and stuff. That he was mimicking this movie when he did Frankenstein. I don't have any proof either way. So take that and do what you will.
The girl with the dragon tattoo was alright in movie form. I don't know, I think they were both...
The Swedish version was really good. I really loved that. It was like almost 3 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, what is that actress's name?
I'm sorry, I have no idea.
Yeah, Nomi Rapace or Rapace.
That could... I don't have a guess, unfortunately.
I think it's Numi, not Nomi.
Naomi.
Numi Rapace. Yeah. Rapace. Rapace. Or Rapace.
No bache.
Those Swedes and their weird names. But she's in that new Netflix movie called Whatever Happened to Monday, where there's like 7 clones or 7 sisters that are like identical, and one day of the week each one goes out, and Monday never comes back. And so all these girls are trying to figure out what happened to their sister, but only one can go out at a time. It's illegal to have more than one child. And
Interesting.
the father couldn't abort the children. So and I can't remember who's the dad off the top of my head, but that's a good little film. It's a, some films are like, mind-blowingly intense and heavy and really good, and then some are like, just good entertainment. It's just something to take me out of my head for an hour or 2 hours. And then some are just the equivalent of sticking a gun to the side of your head and pulling the trigger.
Yes. Occasionally I'll watch it.
I gravitate towards those. They love me.
Sometimes I'll watch a foreign film where I'm just like, there's more than just language lost in translation here.
Indeed.
There is cultural context that I'm not getting.
Well, and
Balehound, what are you doing? I'm sorry, my hound has decided she's going to pick up her bowl and eat right next to me.
Oops. Sorry about that. I'm wearing a headset and I bumped it with my fingers. I apologize if that blew everybody's ears out.
I'm not deaf.
Good.
I will stream RimWorld again a bit later this week. Those streams aren't really scheduled. I just kind of do it when I feel that I want to. I streamed a game to test OBS, and apparently people really liked it, so I guess they'll be doing it again.
Yeah, what is that game? Because I watched a little of that that you had taped, and tell me about that game a little bit.
So, RimWorld is a management type game with survival elements. Essentially, you play with what I like to call them pawns. I think that's what they're officially called. But they're basically colonists with different traits and skills. And then you set the work order of what they're supposed to do and micromanage from there. So, I have a group of tribals, and it's basically them. You can either just like see how long you can survive. You can travel to a spot on the planet where there's a ship waiting, and you can take off that way, or you can research and build your own ship and get off the world in that way. So those are like, those are different ways that you can play the game. I also play. I play with mods on, so it adds certain things to the game. Yes.
It kind of reminded me of Minecraft, the way it looked.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I'm not a big gamer. But what are the graphics based on?
Oh, the graphics themselves are loosely based off of another game called Prison Architect that has a lot of similar aspects to it, but I consider this one a management survival game.
Okay, yeah, because it reminded me, the quality reminded me of more like a old 16-bit or 8-bit game.
You would think, but it's actually extremely involved, and sometimes my computer will start to overheat when I play it with too many mods on.
Oh, really?
Yes, and then the game will crash, and it's not good.
Don't overclock.
All the overclock.
Unless you need to, you know what you're doing. It's like I kind of know what I'm doing. I don't like the overclock stuff.
Mm-hmm. I will keep the elephant, Jacob. Don't worry.
You may have to school me on this game.
Well, next time I play, you can go into the chat. I'll answer any questions anyone has.
This friend was telling me about this thing called Kerbal.
Oh God. I've seen it.
Yeah.
If you're really into literal rocket science, you'll love it. I would find that enraging because I probably wouldn't be able to get anything to take off without crashing into the runway.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's what I was gleaning. That you kind of need to know a little bit about what's going on scientifically to make things work on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a rudimentary knowledge of, but I'm not a scientist. And wow, did you notice that? That was like a skull. His head looked like a skull
That
for a second, and then he turned up, and it was like, oh wow,
welcome
that
to.
was.
Yeah, that's a double exposure.
No, it wasn't the double exposure. It was the way they had the streaks in his hair, um, it, and the way his arms were bent. It was like a painting. And then came up, and that was so cool. Um, and that's something I've never noticed.
Yes, Jacob, I'm also keeping the old lady. And yes, I am aware of the fidget spinner movie. This is just more this is just more proof that they've run out of ideas. They're out of ideas.
Yep. Good old Hollywood.
Ugh.
So the head cop is asleep. Uh, Calling Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard.
Yes, they're when they aren't busy sexually assaulting women and kids, they're making crap movies.
It's amazing. Compendium of the University of Uppsala. Man, I got stoned in Uppsala one time. Man, that place was awful. Shit, didn't have one toilet that worked.
Ew. Max Schreck's office from Batman Returns. Interesting.
Yeah, Max Schreck is the lead actor of Nosferatu that plays the vampire. The actor's name was Max Schreck. Right? Yeah, there's echoes to this movie and to Nosferatu and to what's the third one? Oh, yeah, Metropolis. Um, so we definitely gonna have to do those two.
Oh yes, they're all in line.
Exactly.
But I'm happy I seem
And
to have fixed my issues.
yes, looks great.
Do you
Everything's moving nicely. There's no buffering.
do you guys like the chat? Can you see it better? I know someone was complaining that it was hard to see. I was never. My first live stream ever was with Prince of Queens.
Uh-uh. I'll do you one better, Tennessee Marine. Let's make Hollywood respectable. Good God.
I'm telling you, make silent movies again.
Yeah. What's that old saying that Hollywood was like a bowl of cereal? What ain't fruit and some nuts is a bunch of flakes, or something like that. It was a pretty bad joke, wasn't it?
Mm. It's just a bit. Make silent films great again. Well, I mean, at this point, it literally would be make silent films again. It's been over a century. Oh, well, almost a century.
Yeah, we're close to it. They, yeah, I think the first silent film was made in what 1908,
Yes, in the
1907. Thomas Edison, his stuff. Um, I don't have the dates of those in front of me. They might have been even in the late 1800s.
well, I mean, think of it this way: in a year, this movie will turn 100.
Have you ever seen his Thomas Edison's Frankenstein? Look up the pictures of the creature, man. It's pretty fucking incredible. It's scary as shit.
I will have to. I have a list of things I need to go look up now.
Yeah, just look at the image if you want to. There's not a lot of that movie that's viewable now.
Oh, it didn't survive, really?
Yeah, I think there's like 12 or 15 seconds, something like that. They might have been, they found the entire first reel of this film, this film that we're watching, or they wouldn't have been able to digitally remaster the whole thing, and they literally found it in Central America. It had been preserved in this man's, you know, basement, and it was the old cellulose and silver nitrate, and so they were able to transfer. That's why that first reel looks so good. This looks fantastic. I mean, I'm still amazed.
It is very, very smooth, and they did a good job.
The irresistible passion of my life is being fulfilled. Now I see unwrapped the psychiatric secrets of this Caligari. Ooh. So the doctor was interested in Dr. Caligari when Dr. Caligari was in the nut hut. And now I shall learn if it's true that a somnambulist can be compelled to perform acts which in his waking state would be abhorrent to him, whether in fact he could be driven against his will to commit murder. Oh. So maybe Caligari's still in the nut hut and this dude is not Dr. Caligari.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It looks like he belongs in the nut hut.
Yeah.
The actor that plays Caligari gets, he looks insane. Like, he does.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely insane.
I think he's an unsung, missing link of this movie. He's really, really good. I don't think people give him enough credit because he's
I think you were right. He's not Dr. Caligari.
I must know everything. I must penetrate the heart of the secret. I must become Caligari. I was right. I was right. Taxi. What is he? What the fuck?
Du musst Caligari werden. What? The German.
What does that say again? Zoo. Oh, where is Caligari gone?
Yeah. I'm trying to call upon my rudimentary.
What happened to him? Oh, this is cool. Look at
Where's
this
yeah,
shit.
it's where has Caligari gone?
And these are the voices talking to him. Oh, this is really creative. You have taken Caligari. That's where he went. That was cool. This was such a creative movie. And remember, we're being told this in retrospect.
Yes.
And it's the first film that was done in this type.
It's a
First,
flashback.
yeah, frame. It's called frame story, technically, in movie talk. Oh yeah, this is going to be a frame story. Yes, my icon is based on a lost film. And the only thing that's available are stills from this movie, London After Midnight. And they're not exactly sure what the creatures. They can't even find a script of the thing. They're even not sure what the movie was about anyway. I need to study up on that though. That would be fun to see that movie made, wouldn't it?
It almost looks like it would have been a Jack the Ripper movie.
Yeah, that's what kind of the feeling I was getting. But the teeth kind of like maybe it's like maybe he's a cannibal.
Right, like
It's kind of
perhaps
a cannibal. Yeah,
he was like a
because they never
literal
found some of the
monster.
organs. Yeah, exactly. So maybe a little of both.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised if the real Jack the Ripper was some kind of cannibal.
Yeah, a syphilitic cannibal.
Oh goodness.
Mr. Dracula, drop your mask. You are Caligari. So he hypnotized the original and made him think he was him, and he took his place, man.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Kat, can you think Jack the Ripper was a doctor? I think he might have been royalty.
Yeah, there's all kinds of theories. He did have surgical knowledge, and I think one of the princes had studied uh, biology, and had gained surgical skill, like doing cutting up animals and stuff.
Which could be something that a royal would be able to gain
Yeah,
without
they
actually
did.
being a doctor.
Right. They gravitate. I mean, they were idle rich. They were expected to go to school, so um, and study the humanities, sciences.
Yes, because the bodies were dissected and things were removed, but they were saying that it was done with a rudimentary knowledge of science. So, idle rich would fall into that category. Yes, I can do it, but I'm not great at it.
Right. What's the opinion of the Wolfman remake of 2010? It worked in some places, and then in others it didn't. It really reminded me of Henry Hall and The Werewolf of London, um, which is an excellent movie. Um, but there were times when I was like, Benicio del Toro, he was, I don't know, I had a hard time understanding some of his lines. Some of the delivery with the accent was really bad. Um, and I don't know if that was just the direction or what, or if he just had a difficulty getting the accent correct. It was a that was a nuanced accent, so I think it was supposed to be Welsh, wasn't he?
Possible.
It was tough.
Ghost Dog thinks that Jack the Ripper could have been H.H. Holmes. That's not the worst or furthest out of the realm of possibility, because the timeline does match up for him being in London.
That would be kind of cool, to see that played out. He gets away with it, and then comes to the United States and he opens the hotel, um, the murder hotel, with its secret passageways and torture chambers.
Just in time for a huge influx of people to the city.
Exactly. Oh, look at that. Is Tyler Uden? Nine. This is the Nut Hut. Welcome to Cuckoo Land, y'all.
Yup.
Letty was playing a piano that wasn't there.
Hmm?
And there he is.
Never ask him to tell your fortune or you're dead.
So he's programmed to kill whoever asks him that question.
Ah.
Like a robot. And now the zinger. The great twist.
Jacob, I haven't read any comics lately, as of late.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Now, the other Del Toro, Guillermo Del Toro, was a brilliant actor. I mean, and a brilliant director, not actor. Guillermo Del Toro. And our main character is talking to his bride, who's wistful. We queens are not permitted to follow the dictates of our hearts. She's in love with Cesare, locked in a somnambulistic love. Oh my God. Are they all inmates in the Nut Hut? I think they are.
Everyone's a nut.
They're all insane.
You all think
This is Lovecrafty, Nice.
it's the director who's insane.
They're all insane. The guy that's telling the story, man, they're saying he's insane, but he's not. He's running the place. Well, at least it wasn't the 30s when they were like lobotomizing everybody because it was the new cure. You should read about that dude, man. He was this guy from, it's South America for sure. I want to say it was Argentina. It was an Argentine psychiatric doctor, and he figured if he scrambled your frontal lobes, he could cure whatever you had. And it worked. Alcoholism cured. They didn't want to drink after the treatment,
Well, yes, they don't want to do anything else.
Voice. Right, they just fucking drooled and, just stared off into space.
Rose Kennedy.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Orbital prefrontal lobotomy. Goes in through your eye socket. Lift your eyelid up and then pop the little. It looks like a big ice pick with a T handle on it, and then they tap it with the hammer until it breaks right through the skull, and then they stick it in and just move it around just a wee bit. And they
Hmm.
do it on both sides, and you get a pair of black eyes, and you're never the same ever.
They were saying that Rose Kennedy, though she had like a low IQ and whatnot, probably would have been normal had they not done that to her.
Yeah,
She would have been fine.
she had. I, I want to say that she was epileptic was only her only real problem. And of course, they couldn't have that, because they were like the rich Kennedys and shit.
They had to be perfect. And then they put her in a home for the rest of her life. So,
Yep. Put her away. And that's our movie.
that is our
Apparently.
movie. Captain Confederate, the movie, like I said, I typed the movies from 1919 in Germany, 1920 in the United States.
Correct. All right. So hit 1 if you liked it, hit 2 if you didn't. Be honest. We can handle it.
Yes. Please do let me know how I can improve the stream and just be a better host altogether. Hello, Big Fat Brian. You missed the movie. He says he hit 1 anyway. Thank you. Captain Confederate. It is a royalty free public domain movie, and
Yeah.
I
We
recommend
downloaded
it.
this copy off the National Archive
Yes,
at .org, and it's free.
it
So,
is.
and you get the digitally remastered version. It's excellent. It's beautiful, and the colors are all intentional. That's the way it was made with the green and the yellows. Um,
Fred Power Ranger is saying that some background music would be good. I guess I will look into some ambient music to play. Just gotta be careful of that copyright. There's a reason I don't have any music.
yeah, there may be a couple of like 50s horror and science fiction films that we might be able to. I'm going to do a little research and see if there's a couple I think that are available that are in public domain that they're even from as recent as the 1950s.
Yes.
So, and that was like the heyday of the stranger danger. Everything was symbolic about the Cold War and stuff. So it was is your neighbor an alien?
Yeah, I mean, there's in the creators tab. I guess there's open source music. I might use that. War of the
Yeah,
Worlds. I don't think that one's in the public domain, and I'm not sure about Night of the Living Dead. There's something very strange with the copyright of that movie because I think it's been re-released a few times.
yeah, and that I believe we can use that actually
Ah,
because there's no music per se in the movie. It's and Romero had the choice to get the copyright re-upped, and he chose not to do it for a reason. And I think it's for that reason because he benefited so much from that movie. He wants it, his gift to the world. And he just passed away.
mm-hmm.
You know, so that might be a way to honor him. Just maybe look at that film.
When
I'll
did
do
he
some
pass
research on
again?
it. It was this summer.
Oh, summer's
It
coming
was
up again. I need to look up when he passed away. Maybe we can do that night.
yeah.
1 year anniversary.
Let's see. Yeah, it was like he was like the third in. Yeah, he died July the 16th.
Oh, Captain
In Can-
July 16th?
yeah.
War of the Worlds. Yes, the radio one is in public domain, the movie is not. If you want to hear the radio one, go watch Mad Woman Muses. She actually covered it, the radio show during her Halloween special.
Yeah, that's the classic Orson Welles and his beautiful voice. Man, that dude has such an incredible voice. That resonant, deep voice. It's nice.
Rip to my boy Romero, pouring out for the homie.
That's right.
Yeah, go watch Mad Woman Muse's Halloween special. It's worth a listen. But I think we should wrap it up. The movie's over. I need some more stuff to play when the movies end.
Okay. We'll figure out what we can do. We'll probably get some of those old racist cartoons or some shit. Put some stuff like that going. We'll find the clean ones, the good ones, you know what I'm saying? But so I love those, those they're probably going to be called Cuphead cartoons now because of that game that just came out.
Yes.
It's done in that style, with the rubber hose arms and legs and shit. So
I'll see if I can find some, or maybe I'll just make a mashup or something of different scenes from different movies, and especially something to play when there is no movie.
Yes, I like it.
Well, thank you all for joining us. Next week is either going to be Phantom of the Opera or Nosferatu. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, so you have to stick around. Subscribe to Lady Thorne's Twitter so you can be in the know on such things.
Correct. And I also made a logo today of my snarling face in a frame, and I put it on a site, and it can go on shirts and mugs and stickers. So if you want to buy something, go ahead and buy something.
Yep, and another thing is to share these videos. Giving them a thumbs up is awesome, and we appreciate that. But the shares are starting to make it's important to the algorithm, the almighty algorithm.
Yes,
so we must heed the algorithm.
And word of mouth is a wonderful thing.
And so, everyone, my new friends. Ken Styron, of course, good old Jacob Navo, Ghost Dog 999, Uzi Q, Captain Confederate, and who was I talking to earlier? Casey Dennison. It's been a pleasure.
Tennessee Marine, Gaming Yelling.
No, UT Marine. Clean Marine.
All right. Good night. I'm stopping the stream.